Tonight on Winston Now, we explore a new art gallery that also serves as a hotel and creative space for artists and visitors alike. We revisit the rich architectural history of Winston-Salem. And last but not least, we look into the new emerging scene of tattooing and tattoo art here in the Triad. All coming up next, here in Winston Now.
Hello, and welcome to Winston Now, the Triad's premier video magazine for cultural events here in the Triad. I'm your host, Michael Ray Hansen. Currently, I'm here at Underdog Records, flipping through some of the select vinyl here. Our field reporter, Logan Pardue, has looked into the new Warehouse Art Hotel, a new experience that blends art while visiting our very own Camel City. In the meantime, I'm going to listen to this record.
Greetings from the heart of downtown Winston-Salem. I'm Logan Pardue, here with Winston Now. Today, we'll be taking a look at various different types of galleries located throughout the city of Winston-Salem, including an interesting type of gallery you're even able to spend the night in. But first, let's admire some local galleries that are right here on the Avenue of the Arts. Let's check it out. First Friday is a special event held the first Friday of every month in downtown Winston-Salem, where many people gather to view and interpret different art of all types. Galleries all down Art for Art's Sake's Boulevard open their doors to the public for a night full of fun and beautiful artwork. Most of the artwork you see in the galleries on First Friday was completed right here in Winston-Salem by local artists. You will see all different types of art, from deep and meaningful to downright silly. Even artwork that is completed live right before your very eyes. There is no end to the possibilities of what you could see on First Friday. Events like these are what is causing the resurgence in the love for art galleries and other types of visual arts. Art gives the community something to bond over, something to enjoy and create meaningful relationships over. Local bands even have the chance to showcase their own type of art by filling the streets with the sounds of their tunes. This is the goal of First Friday, to promote positivity throughout Winston-Salem and bring beautiful artwork into the limelight it deserves. Winston-Salem, the city of arts and innovation, has found a way to blend its two titles together to create a new type of innovative art. Outside of its traditional galleries, Winston-Salem is home to a new type of gallery that's leading the charge into a new era of visual craftsmanship. We're talking about none other than the Warehouse Art Hotel, a place for the creative mind to become inspired while being surrounded by beautiful artwork. The best part about it is all the artwork is supplied by local artists, some of which is even available to purchase. The Warehouse Art Hotel is a very unique and innovative type of gallery. This hotel gallery mashup allows you to rent one or all of the rooms in the hotel for events, shows, and everything in between. Just walking up the stairs to the entrance of the hotel is a unique and awing experience in itself. Every single square inch of the beautiful gallery is artistic in its own way. From the light fixtures, to the bedrooms, even the doors you walk through are covered in art. The Warehouse Art Hotel has been a creative masterpiece for years. I had the good fortune of being able to go inside and sit down with Haiti Thompson, the owner of the Warehouse Art Hotel, and get her perspective on what makes this unique gallery so enticing.
The Warehouse Art Hotel is kind of trying to find an algorithm for how to survive as an artist and how to provide opportunities for artists in a changing landscape that is development. So we're just trying to stay creative and keep sort of our tentacles out there for the weird and wild and wonderful, and hope to bring that into the Winston-Salem culture that exists, yeah. We plant our flag, you know, and say, we were here, we helped make this space, this town, an interesting one. And, you know, we want to continue to do that in a responsible and organized and loving way, so, yeah.
The presence of the Warehouse Art Hotel is a bold and vibrant one. Outside of the traditional innovative paintings and visual arts, there are kinds of performance arts you can admire as well. Although you are able to spend the night in the Warehouse Art Hotel, you may find yourself up all night enjoying the creative atmosphere. Art can come in many different sizes, shapes, colors, and forms, but one thing always remains true. Art is the universal language of expressing emotion. Being surrounded by such beautiful art is truly a magical thing. The City of Arts and Innovation is making groundbreaking leaps for the world of art. There is no shortage of galleries to choose from, so there's something for every connoisseur of the craft. From the fine city of Winston-Salem, this has been Logan Pardue.
Thanks, Logan. Coming up next after the break, we have a wonderful piece on the architecture of Winston-Salem. Stay tuned, folks.
Forsyth Technical Community College is your one-stop shop for all things education, with over 200 ways to further your education or expand your career. Forsyth Tech offers classes that will fit any schedule, whether you want to start your own business, take on the medical field, or learn a trade. For fun outside of the classroom, Forsyth Tech offers numerous clubs and student-driven activities for students from all walks of life. For more information on Forsyth Tech's programs and activities, visit forsythtech.com.
For those looking to get in touch with their more creative side, Forsyth Technical Community College offers a 2.5-year associate's degree program in interior design. Learn residential and non-residential design, along with the history of interiors, furnishings, and sustainable design principles to prepare you for employment opportunities such as set designer, showroom designer, and other rewarding careers. The Interior Design Program at Forsyth Tech. Education for life.
I think it takes strength, humility, and teamwork.
I basically told myself, I can do this and I want to do this.
It was just the most fun sport I'd ever seen in my life, and I was like, I have to do this.
You just got to be willing to just throw yourself into it. So many different people in roller derby in general, like, all it really takes is a will and a want.
The Salem Lake Golf Course is a beautiful 6,213-yard city-ran course filled with twists and turns to keep even the most seasoned players on their toes. The Salem Lake Golf Course is also home to the Ernest Moore Children's Golf Academy that teaches children between the ages of 8 and 18 the basic fundamentals for golf while also teaching them important life lessons in the process. For more info, visit cityofws.org/golf.
Spartan Madness is held in Greensboro, North Carolina at UNCG's Fleming Gymnasium. The event includes introductions of both the women's basketball team and the men's basketball team. Both teams compete in a scrimmage for the crowd, along with a three-point shooting contest and a dunk contest. This event has become very popular for students and fans. This has been a message from UNCG's athletic department.
Fires are an everyday occurrence, and in the case of an emergency, you don't have time to think. Here are some important steps to take to help prepare you in the event of a fire. First, make sure that you have a sufficient amount of batteries for your smoke detector. Next, place your smoke detector in the appropriate home location. And finally, have an escape plan for your family members to look over. If a fire does occur, make sure you get out, you stay out, and call 911.
This program is brought to you by the Winston-Salem Urban League,
empowering African Americans and other disenfranchised communities with promoting socio-economic progress through education, training, and civil engagement. Since opening in 1963, the Urban League has provided internship opportunities for teens, employing training for seniors, and free walk-in STI testing. The Winston-Salem Urban League, empowering communities, changing lives.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Michael Hansen, and coming up next we have a piece on the architecture in Winston-Salem. In the meantime, I'm going to get a haircut at one of my favorite barbershops here in Winston, the Oval Office, located in the heart of downtown Winston-Salem. Stay tuned.
There's a famous quote from Henry David Thoreau where he said, "It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see." And what you can see in Winston is a growing community of artists and enthusiasts that are making what we see thought-provoking. We can take a journey into this city's rich past and find out exactly where and why we live in the city of arts and innovation.
In the last segment, we discussed art in the medium of painting and still life. But if you really open your eyes as you walk down the downtown streets of Winston-Salem, you'll notice that art isn't just inside, it's also on the outside. Winston's architecture has been the inspiration for many notable buildings, and many stand as a unique piece of art all by themselves. In this segment, we'll take some time to learn about Winston's rich history in architecture, how these beautiful buildings came to be, and how Winston's future skyline will look. I had the chance to talk to Forsyth Tech's own Todd Shove. He's an instructor and coordinator for the architecture program. Mr. Shove was kind enough to share his perspective on Winston-Salem's history and its growth.
There's areas of Winston that you just would not go to. There are places that were just not good. And I think what really was really wonderful about, quite frankly, leaving for 20 years total and coming back was seeing what had, how the city of Winston has evolved and how it's changed as it relates to the arts and innovation and design, and how it has really embraced and been transformed.
Take a walk down 4th Street downtown and you'll be surrounded by history. From the old tobacco factories, now artfully designed as loft apartments, to the newest buildings designed with innovation in mind, you'll quickly realize why Winston-Salem is the city of art and innovation. We'll start with the old. There's an enormous 7-foot 3-inch tin coffee pot at the entrance to Old Salem. It's a little structure with a lot of history. In 1859, Julius E. Mickey advertised his tin shop on South Main Street in what used to be known as just Salem by erecting the large tin coffee pot out front, until the construction of Interstate 40 forced its removal. It's a safe bet that the coffee pot is one of Winston-Salem's most iconic landmarks. If we fast forward our trip through time about 7 decades, we can catch a glimpse of the literal take on advertisement that was prevalent in the 1920s and 30s. The Shell station, located on East Sprague Street, is a perfect example of this, as it was built in the shape of a shell. Although this wasn't the only case of gas stations built this way, the Shell station has stood up to the test of time to become a shocking example of unique architecture.
That's the beauty of art and architecture, is that it does bring the beauty out of the community and the connections and the social aspects of community and the ideas, and it defines our community, I think. And but yeah, that's another area. I think that both the CDI and Mixer are both great entities, and I'm with more to come. I know. I mean, I'm really excited. I will tell anybody, and I would tell anybody that this area, Winston-Salem, particularly Winston right now, is what's happening here is really, really strong and really good and very exciting. That's what I would say with regards to art and architecture.
The late George Moore once said, "A great artist is always before their time, or behind it." After seeing such great design and innovation from this growing city, it's easy to imagine where Winston-Salem has been, but nearly impossible to tell where it is heading. When we return, we will discuss how people create art out of themselves. This is Winston Now.
Oh, yes, this looks wonderful. Thanks again, Max, for that wonderful piece on Winston architecture. Coming up next, the new scene of tattooing here in Winston-Salem. Coming up next after these messages. Don't change that dial.
The Gateway YWCA of Winston-Salem provides programs to empower women and girls through advocacy and unity. They take pride in helping them achieve their goals through programs such as child care, development programs for teens, and breast cancer awareness programs. Strengthened by diversity, the YWCA brings together people who strive to create opportunities for women's growth, leadership, and empowerment. The Gateway YWCA, eliminating racism, empowering women.
Triad Community Kitchen Culinary School is the ideal choice for a fresh start. The Triad Community Kitchen is a 13-week nonprofit program aimed to assist members of the community in securing employment in the food service and hospitality industry. Model candidates for the TCK program are those looking for a fresh start with a new career, no matter their individual circumstance. To learn how to apply for Triad Community Kitchen Culinary School, visit hungernwnc.org.
Established in 1954, Camp Raven Knob has been the summer getaway for the Boy Scouts of America's Old Hickory Council. There's no shortage of activities here for your young scout. Learn ecology, go swimming, and just escape from the city and really get in touch with nature. Visit ravenknob.com to learn more about Raven Knob and the Boy Scouts of America.
Enrolling in the Broadcast and Production Technologies program at Forsyth Tech puts you where you need to be to pursue your passion. You will receive one-on-one guidance from industry professionals, hands-on experience with some of the latest and greatest technology sweeping the industry, and the knowledge you need to be prepared to tackle the world of broadcasting and production. Visit the studios and the instructors in the Oak Grove Center or check forsythtech.org for more info. Forsyth Tech, education for life.
Greensboro Parks and Recreational Youth Football Program has been part of the Greensboro community for over 40 years, helping kids learn the fundamentals of football throughout the season, while also teaching important life skills such as sportsmanship, leadership, and teamwork to the youth of Greensboro. This message has been brought to you by the Greensboro Parks and Recreation.
Almost every day, you see sheriff cars driving around Forsyth County, helping law enforcement to protect citizens and stop crime. But getting around quick enough requires the proper care and maintenance to their vehicles. The Forsyth County Fleet Maintenance Facility works on dozens of emergency vehicles on a daily basis. The facility provides an opportunity to work on the many different emergency vehicles that go around the county every day. The Forsyth County Fleet Maintenance Facility in Winston-Salem.
Space is your canvas, a beautiful blank canvas for your creativity to come alive. And if turning that canvas into a portrait is your passion, then maybe the interior design program at Forsyth Tech is right for you. Learn from top-notch instructors with knowledge of AutoCAD software, interior design, and showroom design in order to put yourself on the path to a rewarding career at Forsyth Technical Community College. So never forget that space makes anything possible.
Howdy folks, I'm your host Michael Ray Hansen for Winston Now. Coming up next in this last segment, we have our special field reporter Shelley looking into the tattoo culture and art here in Winston-Salem. In the meantime, I'm going to check out one of my favorite chicken joints here, Slappy's Chicken. The sauce is to die for. I'm going to go check that out.
I'm Shelley Wilmoth in the heart of downtown Winston-Salem. Let's venture into why tattooing is an up-and-coming art form in our local area. Art is everywhere, from the downtown galleries in Winston-Salem to the faces of many of the buildings in the art district that have become canvases for many local artists. But what if I said art is a living, breathing thing? Not in the literal sense, it's actually walking around on the streets. One night a month, the city of Winston-Salem brings together all forms of art and celebrates. You got it? I'm talking about the First Friday Gallery Hop. The most unique form of art is the hidden gem of downtown Winston-Salem. That art form is tattooing. Winston-Salem has seen a rise of tattooing in the last several years, leading to more shops popping up all over the downtown area. So what is behind this trend? I spoke with some local tattoo artists to see what they thought about their art walking the streets every day. Owner John Slater of Tattoo Revival explained to me the correlation between traditional art and tattooing for him.
I mean, we just kind of want to prove that we are traditional artists and kind of show that, you know. I think up until all the TV shows and social media and stuff, people didn't realize that a lot of us got into tattooing because we were artists already. And this was a way to be able to work on our art and make art every day and still be able to make a living. If you want to find a good waiter, find an artist. And we just don't want to have to do that anymore. We want to be able to art every day.
Years ago, tattoos were frowned upon in mainstream society, especially the work industry, but in recent years, tattoos have become socially accepted and even fashionable.
I have a bigger variety of clientele now, Soccer moms aren't quite as afraid to come in here as they were 10 years ago.
After speaking with Mr. Slater, we traveled to 4th Street in downtown to speak with another tattoo shop owner about his take on tattooing and its rise in popularity in the area. Chuck Eldridge opened Tattoo Archive in 1980 in Berkeley, California, and has since moved the storefront to Winston-Salem.
Well, the Tattoo Archive is an operating tattoo shop, so we're able to do tattoos for people as far as the service business goes. And then we do a lot of writing and research on the history of tattoo as well. So we think that's an important part of our business, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the actual tattooing business as well.
Eldridge, a Navy veteran, began getting tattooed in the 1960s aboard naval ships during his service, and thus began an ever-growing collection.
Well, I started getting tattoos when I was in the Navy. I was raised just up the road from here in Elkin, North Carolina, and my dad was tattooed, and my brother was tattooed, and my uncles was tattooed. Most of those were service related, and so I kind of grew up seeing those. And then I joined the Navy in '65 and started getting tattooed, and liked it and continued. Came out of the Navy with probably 20 tattoos or 25 tattoos. And then started working in civilian jobs. I built custom bicycles, and I worked as a dishwasher in soul food restaurants in Oakland, and all this kind of stuff, and continued to get tattooed. And then in the 70s, I was getting tattooed in San Francisco. And the fellow, Ed Hardy, who I was getting tattooed by, offered to teach me tattooing. So then I actually started tattooing full time and have ever since.
Eldridge opened Tattoo Archive in 2007 as not only a place to come get a beautiful piece of body art, but also to view the history of tattooing on the walls of Tattoo Archive. When asked about the impact of tattooing on the local economy, Eldridge had this to say.
Well, I mean, you know, the shops pay taxes and all of this, that certainly would add to the economy. I think in a city like Winston-Salem that kind of thinks of itself as an art center, it brings another interesting art form and art medium to the city as well.
Tattooing in Winston-Salem has increased in popularity in recent years, as well as created more job opportunities. Winston-Salem has become known as the city of arts and innovation because of the many forms of art. From the filled walls of traditional galleries to the body canvases walking the streets of downtown. Back to you, Mike.
A beautiful plate every single time. Thank you, Shelley, for that wonderful piece on the tattooing culture here in Winston-Salem. Now we know a little bit more about that scene. This has been Winston Now, and I'm your host, Michael Ray Hansen. We'll see y'all next week.